Hey YouTubers, I had the previous video where my chain came off, but it was loose, and the 3/4 inch bolts, the 4 bolts the bearing carrier to the swing arm were loose. So I didn't think much of it. I should have looked closer. We ran it the next day, and we ran it hard. Like 5 or 6 hours. We was just down there running all over the place. Didn't have any problems. This morning I went and cut a fallen tree off the trail, and when I was going up a hill, my chain came off. Well, I babied it back to the house, and when I was tightening it, I noticed my four-wheeler was crooked. Now, notice this bearing carrier, you got probably a good 1/2 inch gap on the left, and this is after I stretched it out. You only got like a 1/4 of an inch, if that, on the right. If you look at it, it says Cali-Whoppered. The right tire is actually forward. I don't know if you can tell this, and I know the ATV is a little bit lean to the right, but if you looked at the center of that tire, it's like 2 or 3 inches in from the running board. Okay, for the support for the running board, the pipe. If you look over here, that's the center of the tire is pointing to the outer edge of that pipe. If you try to look at the gap, look around the exhaust. The sun may be in this camera, but you can tell that the whole rear end is crooked. And if you really look at it, you can tell that the bearing carrier runs at an angle. Well, that's bad. And it's not the it's crooked, so you might be able to straighten it up. But I got looking at this, see how this arches here, but the bolt, and this is a welded bolt, it's welded on the inside of this, it's like in line right here. The one up here ain't perfectly straight either, but it's a lot better than the other side. See, the bolt goes like through into the center of this, and the nut is in the center, and over here the nut is crooked. Well, that alone, that 1/2 inch there, if you got a 1/2 inch that bracket is off there, it's going to throw your tire off a couple inches probably, because it's farther out. So we've officially named this blue four-wheeler the problem child, because of all the problems that it's had. Now on the other hand, Allie's, which we had to tighten your throttle cable a little bit, right? And her bolts came loose, but that was, I don't know how people cannot tighten stuff up right, but I probably should have checked. And her chain came off one time. That was because the whole axle slid over and they, got out of alignment. But if I would have checked the bolts, it wouldn't have happened. But put it back together, it runs fine. Chains never come off before. Again, and I did tighten it up a little bit, because chains stretch out as you go. Her throttle cable, I got some of the slack out of it and had to tighten up the little bracket there. And your alignment, I was getting on. I said, you got to turn sharper than that. And it didn't turn worth anything to the right, because one tire was like, well, it wasn't that bad, but when the handlebars are straight, and you could tell it was in. So we tightened up we aligned it and tightened up her tie rod ends. You guys got to check them. People on YouTube say check every bolt on these. Well, yeah, they mean it, because stuff comes loose. But yeah, this one's been pretty good, hasn't it, Allie? No problems, goes everywhere, other than them 3 things. That was the only things I had to do to it. And if I would have checked that thing, the chain would have never came off. But now this problem child here, it's just one problem after another. The exhaust, it's straight. Hers is bent. It was like bent in shipping, but it doesn't rattle. So I hope mine rattles, and 50 other things. But I got to fight with them and see if they'll give me a new bearing carrier, and when it's straight, that should take care of my problems. But I don't mind changing it if they even send it to me. I don't know if they will or not. I maybe try changing that one, but I'm going to have to, you know, bang the bearings out, drive them out so I can weld on it. Because I'll have to cut that bolt off and then drill and weld it up and all that. So, which ain't, you know, major, but it's going to take me, you know, half a day or something to rip it all apart and weld it and paint it and get it back together maybe. But I just hope they'll give me a new one. But I'll let you know, and I'll add on to this video and let you know if they do stand behind it and fix it. But yeah, the blue one is now known as the problem child. What are you going to name yours, Allie? You got to think of a name, dude. The never has a problem lawn sin over here, the little super mock. It's now officially known as Willie. We washed it up today. Kid almost rolled it completely over. It got on the side, and a piece of this running board broke out, and then another piece broke out. We're running out the brake pads. They're pretty much done, almost. Yeah, just a little bit more, but got to get them ordered. Had to replace one of the lights in the back, tail light, and this one ended up couldn't find a match. Had to file off one of the locking things on them because Chinese ones have too low locking lugs, and for a 2-element bulb, which, you know, most Americans are like, you know, if they got too low locking lugs, there's only one element in the bulb. There's one terminal on the bottom. Now, these is different from. So anyway, and then putting one on, took the other one, stopped it from working, so I had to replace both of them. I thought, well, maybe the wiring's not heavy enough, but anyway. But other than the holes in the running board and the 5 batteries in 8 years, and the rear bearings, which I put a grease fitting in there, I got to pump it full of grease again. They seem to be doing a lot better. The tires are staying tight on it and stuff. No play in it and stuff. But yeah, that one's done really well, and this one's just has issues from the gate. So another thing I found on these, if you ever wash them, they're allergic to water. They start turning orange after they dry off. Well, any little bracket like this where the water will set in it, they're not painted very good. So I went through and I had to touch up that one, and there's some other, and some of the welds rust. I said before, it gives you a can of spray paint. You might want to get, what, 2, 3? 5? 96-inch cans of spray paint. But other than that, it's running fine. I mean, but I was kind of disappointed that I got problems with that carrier or something, you know. I mean, I can't believe that bolt is way off from the center. I mean, there's the center, and the bolt, I mean, I guess their machinists are blind. Or they're like government accountants, you know, they just get close, that's good enough. But if you're a ½ inch off here, you're 3 inches off on the wheel over there. Yep, I can't run like that because anytime it, you know, anyway, I'll have to take all of them out, or maybe Loctite them when I put them in there for the final go. But anyway, we'll see how it goes. I'll let you know, if they stand behind what they sell, or if I'm just... Later, YouTubers.